Welcome to Stock Debrief, where we'll be going over a couple of tips that I like to use that I'm giving out to y'all to do longer term investments. And first, we're going to start off with Apple and how I would go about doing a longer term investment. So, right now, you can tell we're in a recession, but obviously, the past couple of weeks we've been in an uptrend. But right here on the daily chart, when obviously you're doing longer term investments, you want to look into the higher time frames, just to know how the market's moving in a longer time period. But here, as you can tell, we have a big supply zone, and then off of this resistance level, we have a big demand zone. So when determining when you want to enter, do you want to enter either if you're playing long-term puts or long-term calls? You want to enter when you feel it's hitting the right point. So obviously right here you'd enter in a demand zone uh, back in the beginning of January, um, because we are bouncing off of demand. Uh, we've bounced off it two times in the past, and the supply zone has been bounced off uh, a numerous amount of times. One, two, three, four, five, 6 times. We broke out of it a couple times, but it's strong, especially coming up on it. So if you were looking into this back in January, the beginning of January, you'd want to enter in calls just to be safe and know where the general market's going, especially after Christmas. The markets tend to go up, but we're coming into a demand zone, so you just want to look out for uh, a reversal in the market here, and you could probably play long-term puts coming up pretty soon once we get into this I'd say 150, 156 area. All right, so moving over into SPY, we're just gonna go over a couple of longer term investments you could do. So obviously right now, the basic downtrend here, and it seems we are breaking out of it right now, but you want to be careful entering this area because we could either spike up really hard or go down. So obviously right now wouldn't be a good time to enter because you're in the middle of a range. You don't want to enter in the middle of that. But right here, you can see demand zone about right here. Bounced off numerous times and has great scalps here. It seems like the supply zones aren't really keenly determined here, but there is strong resistance off of uh, past time periods here, here, and then through the recent days of mid December. So playing puts off of this line would probably be best for a longer term investment. And you just want to really, when trading in general, you want to pay close attention to the news, research news on the stock you're wanting to invest in, because when you're investing in a company, you are holding a part of that company, so you should really pay attention to what what you're getting yourself into, especially for longer term. Shorter term, it's a bit different, but you still want to look into it either way. For the final example, we are going to be talking about Netflix, and Netflix right now is in a strong uptrend, dropping and then moving up over $200 uh, in the past year or so, almost a year. Um, and we are coming up into a strong resistance level and supply area. I've picked out the best supply and resistance level here. As you can see, we've bounced off of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we ended up breaking out of it back here. But right now, the market has been very weird. FOMC announcements have been driving the market down and then ending up recovering multiple times. But right now, this could be a longer term version of that. So right now we've had the huge fall off of $200 and a recovery of 200. So we could see a recovery past that. So it's something you got to factor in when coming into longer term investments due to how the market's been moving. So when we see a reversal here off of this resistance level, if we do see one, we would pick out our points of exiting. So when you would want to exit, probably around the next demand zone. We've had 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and 3 bounces here. So you just want to pick out your demand zones, also pick out your stop loss zones before entering trades. And that's all for Netflix. In conclusion, you want to point out the resistance and support levels and the supply and demand levels of the stock you are wanting to invest in. So obviously we picked out our resistance and supply area to do a longer term investments to the put side, probably selling near the next demand zone, which seems to be either here or right here at the 300. You really want to look out for these levels before you get in when you're going to sell it, because you do not want to hold because of greed. You do not want to stay in a trade longer than you believe it's more than you believe it's going to move. So it's always good when you enter long-term investments, you have a direct goal that could be 50%, 60% profit, but you want a direct goal before you enter the trade, because then you could get caught up in your own greed, lose profits that you should have got. I mean, you may possibly win more than you got, but 9 times out of 10 you would lose more. Obviously, pretty basic coming into longer term investments. You just got to know the simple things. A really good indicator that I use all the time is RSI. It's really good to learn how the RSI works. As of right now, it is overextending. So for me, we are coming up into the resistance level with an overextension. We're destined to see some pullback here. So that's a little quick tip. Thank you for watching Stock Debrief. If this helped you out, please leave a like. Also subscribe. I'm going to start uploading a lot more. Try to really improve my videos. I can tell right now they're not really as I want them to be. I feel like the way I'm putting them out, seems the way I talk about things is a little harder to understand. I'm trying to work on that. But any tips from me, please leave a comment. Always open to listen to any viewer watching, and thanks for watching.